For this last step, I've already made my slab. I rolled it out nice and even so the thickness is the same throughout. I added the impressed designs. I rolled designs into it. Now I'm going to actually form it. So I've got a piece of foam that's going to work very well. And I just set that piece down. And when I cut it, I used it so that the big piece or big end was down. Now I want the large side up. And I want to look straight down on it, make sure that I'm all even. And then I'm going to press that into the foam, and I kind of rotate that around back and forth a little bit. I don't want to press so hard that it ruins the design, but hard enough that it conforms to the mold. Now, if you've got something else, it can be just a block of wood, it can be a small dish, or you can actually form these to a degree by hand if you don't have one of these wooden forms like this. So while it's still on the form, I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup, kind of refine the edges a little bit, smooth that a little bit, because sometimes it kind of cracks or gets a funky texture. I'm not blending that edge up to the top of this board though, because that'll make the edge too thin. So then I flip it over very gently, and I may have to encourage it a little bit. Then I just pop that little guy out. And then I've got to decide, do I want it just to be square, or do I want like the edges to curve a little bit? And I kind of just encourage it a little, and I can rotate either the pot or the vinyl and do that on the next one. But I want to make sure I'm not distorting where I don't want it distorted. So I've got to be very gentle with it. And then you can let it dry some, and you can clean up the edges once it's like leather hard. You can take your damp sponge and go over, clean up those edges so it just has really clean, smooth edges. You want to be really deliberate about the shape of and the texture of your edges. So you also want to make sure that your name or initials and period is on the bottom so that there's no question of whose things are. The small dishes, especially that are smooth, it's really hard to tell whose pieces they are. So please make sure that you do something identifiable, preferably your name or your initials and period. And so this is really nice and clean. The edges, the slab itself is even. I don't have my name or initials on there yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that's my potter's mark. I have to be very gentle. I don't want to just drop it because it'll distort, but that's pretty much it. Again, right before, when it's almost like leather hard, maybe not quite dry, you can also take the cheese grater, the rasp, and go around the edge if you need to reform that just a little bit. And that's pretty much it.